one. Right, go. Oh, Jim. Got a flyer. Go.
Watching the hard, relentless pace of Elland Road training sessions, the onlooker could be excused for thinking that the tempo of Saturday matches cannot be more demanding in terms of physical energy. Masterminding United's fitness is Chief Trainer Les Cocker, the man who gave the final polish to England's World Cup team. Every member of the playing staff is out this morning, and suffering with the lads are the Chief Coach Sedone, Bob English, the Irish physiotherapist, and Trainer Cyril Partridge. One group is enjoying a 5-minute break, so let's go over and meet, first of all, Paul Rennie.
I was born in London, but I'm called a local boy because I came to Leeds when I was only a fortnight old. I had a great start with Leeds. The first year we ended up 5th, I think, in the 2nd division, and from then on we've never looked back.
Norman Hunter.
I am following in a family tradition. My dad played football for Sheffield Wednesday, and now I am playing for a Yorkshire club. I came down here and I was in digs with a few of the lads, Terry Cooper for one and a few other ones. And after being here 2.5 years, my mother was really on her own, so the club said they'd get her a house, so she came down, and she's living down here now, and to keep her busy sort of thing, she's looking after some of the lads.
And now United's handsome Welsh heartthrob, Gary Sprake.
I come from Swansea in South Wales, and I always wanted to play for Arsenal because my next door neighbour was Jack Kelsey, the famous Welsh national goalkeeper, an Arsenal goalkeeper. And when I was a schoolboy, I used to watch him a lot, and my one ambition was to play for Arsenal in Wales one day. But when I left school and went to work, I was a fitter and turner, and I worked for 10 months. And they asked me to come to Leeds for a fortnight's trial, and then they signed me on as apprentice professional. And I've never regretted coming to Leeds.
Come on, wait for it, back there, go! Right, go! Come on, little short ones. Right, go! Come on, push off. Right, go!
In spite of crowd choruses and distractions by peanut vendors, programme sellers and rosette merchants, many fans will admit to increasing edginess before the kick-off. Down in the dressing room, friendly game or vital cup tie, the tension is almost unbearable. Only the team, the manager and the trainer are allowed into this sanctorum, and only trainer Les Cocker can objectively comment on the pre-match idiosyncrasies of the players.
One particular player who was violently sick before the game. I remember one day when this fellow, he wasn't affected quite as much as usual, and he didn't play quite so well. Another fellow has got to have a certain pair of shorts, possibly 2 or 3 years old. Another player would prefer, say, a pair of woolen socks, which do become a little discoloured, but nevertheless he feels that these are the things he feels right in, so these he has. There's another player, he just sits, gets himself ready, never says a word, and sits probably for 5 or 10 minutes with his head in his hands. He's in another world, but you don't like to interfere.
Most people know or imagine that they know manager Reevy, but the person best qualified to talk about Don Reevy, husband and father, is Mrs. Reevy, about whom sports editor Phil Brown said, "Her head isn't screwed on, it's riveted."
He was a dedicated professional footballer, and I think he's a dedicated professional manager, and I stress professional because everything he does is for Leeds United, and I think this is the only way he feels to manage a club, and I think this is true. His whole world is wrapped up in Leeds United. I think this is good because we're able to take part so much at home. The boy's interested. My mother, of course, naturally, she's a footballer's widow, is terribly interested and never misses an away match.
The man who implements Don Reevy's Find Them Young policy is United's assistant manager and chief scout. Maurice Lindley seldom sees the first team in action because most weekends finds him scouring these islands in search of that rare, elusive creature, tomorrow's international star.
Probably 80% of these journeys that I make come to nothing. But only once in those many hundreds of miles of journeys that I have done in the past have I ever felt, on the first occasion, that one player or one boy that I have come across, I would have said immediately that here is a future international. This might seem ridiculous, but this is perfectly true. And I must refer here and now to Eddie Gray, whom I saw first on a wee place, as I call it, called Port Glasgow.
Maurice Lindley sets his sights high, and the club's general manager and secretary, Cyril Williamson, can confirm the skill of United talent scouts.
Last year was a very good example of the quality of the junior players which have been recruited to the club and which have been trained and coached so magnificently that they won the Northern Intermediate League Championship, they won the Northern Intermediate League Cup, and they went and performed in what they call the European Junior Cup, when the junior sides of the leading continental teams were also in opposition to them, and they came away as winners from that. I know we're not always successful, some fall by the wayside, but the percentage of the players who have come into the first team during the last 2 years, Sprague, Reaney, Bremner, Hunter, Lorimer, all came to Leeds United direct from school, and that gives some clear indication of what the policy is at Elland Road.
The last word on young players comes from Chief Coach Sid Owen.
The lad comes to us at 15 years of age now from school, and in this club now we've set such a high standard that we anticipate that by the time he's achieved an age of 18 years that he should have established himself a permanent place in the reserve team and also be available to play in the first team if he's required.
I feel that we've learned so much, and I do feel that this could be our year.
If we falter in the first few weeks, don't get too downhearted, because I feel that over the long run, that once we get all our players fit and everybody doing well, we will be knocking at the door somewhere at the end of April.
It's only bad luck. Something out of the blue that no one can see can stop them going even further forward this season, as I see it, and as I hope you see it.